Hello and welcome back to KNF Design. If you're new here, my name is Katie, and I try to bring a wide variety of different craft projects to you. If you ever have a craft project you would like me to show you how to make, or just want to see me try to make it, let me know down below, and I'll try my best to bring that to you. If you like today's craft project, make sure to hit those thumbs up. It really does mean a lot to me, and it helps bring my crafting videos to more crafters like you. Don't forget to also hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. That way you don't miss out on any of our crafting fun. So with that, let's get crafting. So today I'm going to show you how to make a wrap for a glass jar, or I'm going to use it for a candle. And the nice thing about this is that it's removable. It will be removable if you want it to be. So this one is kind of more Valentine's Day themed. You can then change it out for Christmas, Easter, or even just if you get tired of a certain look, you can change it out. So the design I did here is actually a little complicated to create. Not too bad, it's above that beginner level. So because of that, I'm going to be making a mini course to show you how I added the flower, how I created the heart, and things like that. And you can find that in my website, knfdesign.com. And then at the top, there should be a little tab called Courses, and you can find it there. If you take the course, you'll get the design, and you could print this a couple different ways. So this is going to be the piece that goes around a candle. I'll show you how to measure that, but for the Dollar Tree candle, tall, I think they're called hurricane vases, they're about 10.75 inches wide by 7.25 inches tall. So that's what I made mine to. I don't know why I rounded my corners though. I'm going to make a different one without the rounded corners. And then I don't want it to be a square, so I'm going to unlock it. So that way it changes it like that. Okay, close it now. We'll change it white so it's not noticeable, and send it to back so we see our other design. So now we don't need this one here, so I'm just going to hit delete. So here is our design. If you want to put the design in this exact same layout, then just hit select all of these pieces. I'm hitting, unselect that one. I am holding down the control button on my computer as I do that, and then just hit the attach button, and Cricut will make all these pieces in this exact layout. I like to kind of freehand it a little bit more, so I'm not going to do that, but you could if you want to. I'm going to talk those two different materials you could use for this square here. I don't tend to cut straight. I do have one of those cutter things. I think it's just going to be easier to have my Cricut cut it for me. So that's what I'm going to do. But you could cut this rectangle out with a cutting tool by hand as well. So if we go to make it on a mat, so we have this, and I'll show you the two options. It's easier to see them and I'm going to be doing vellum for mine, but I'll talk about that later. And so I'll just select whatever material you're using, select that. So this is how it'll look like since I didn't attach them. And I think I'm going to just move these over a little bit. That looks pretty good. And that's how I'm going to make mine. So let's go ahead and make this, and then I'll show you a little bit more detail. So while that is cutting over on my Cricut, I actually used this foil, adhesive foil. I thought that would be a really pretty vinyl to use. So while that is cutting on my Cricut, let's go over some of the other materials you're going to need. Like all good Cricut projects, you need a weeding tool. You need your candle. This is a real candle I'll be lighting, but you could use a fake one. And then this is the glass vase from Dollar Tree. I just stuck my candle inside. I just have it sitting in this little stand. That's not needed, it's just to hold it. If you're interested in making that, it's actually made out of the Dollar Tree Jenga block. A tape measure, so we can measure our glass here to make sure everything's correct there. You need a measuring tape that's flexible like this, not a stiff ruler, that way we can wrap it around. And then you can do a couple different things here. You can do Cricut, has a clear acetate. Other acetates will work as well. You just want something that can wrap around. So it's going to go like that. And this has a clear protective layer, that's why it looks just a little foggy. But when you peel both sides off, it'll look clear and it'll look like your vinyl. Whatever vinyl you choose will look like it's directly on the glass. If you don't want the clear look, you want a little bit more of the opaque, which is what I went with, then you want this vellum. And as you can see, it just shows a little bit. And then when it goes over the candle, it's really pretty when it's turned on. So I'm using the vellum, but you could use either one of these to wrap. You'll also need some tape, just clear Scotch tape. I would not recommend double-sided tape just because that residue will stay on your candle. And then since we have vinyl, we also need some transfer tape as well, and any other Cricut tools that help you to read. So let's go see how our machine's doing, and then we'll read our vinyl. I realized I didn't actually show you how to measure the candle here. So you just want to go underneath, wrap it around, make sure it's nice and tight, and then you can read the circumference of it, and that's going to be a width of either that vellum or acetate, and then your height here as well is right there. So we have a design here. Again, I cut out all the pieces separately, but you could do it together if you would like, but we need to weed it out. And so I actually sometimes like to put my pieces I'm weeding out on a mat, the sticky side, so it kind of helps hold it down flat. And then you get in with your weeding tool, and I actually already cut that. I also cut little, just use my scissors and cut that vinyl in pieces as I weed. And then when you get to these intricate areas, just be careful here. Also with this particular adhesive foil, I did have I didn't want to use more pressure because it was such a detailed design. So what I did is I just tested it after the first after the first cut, and it wasn't quite all the way cut through. So then I just hit the go button again without unloading my machine, and it ran it through again. So see, that's doing a beautiful job weeding. There's a lot of small details, so it's gonna take me a little bit, so I won't let you sit through that. So I just went ahead and weeded out this piece. If you do this piece, just note that it is very small, thin detail, so just go very slow. Or if you want to make it bigger, that would also make it a little bit easier for yourself. I do plan on making a little mini course, kind of paper version, just steps to follow when weeding cardstock, vinyl, anything that's small little details like this. So now we need to use our transfer tape to transfer it to our vellum. So I'm just going to fold just a corner of it down, and that way it's easier to do just a small section first. And then I'm going to pull this backing off and just use my little varnishing tool to help get it down smooth as I go. Sometimes you can do your finger, kind of up to you which way you like better. And then we'll go over everything with our varnishing tool. And then we also want to do the back side. See if that's good. So I like to go backwards with this by pulling it upward. And a lot of times it's just getting that very first piece down, and then you're usually pretty good. Just go slow. I like to use a weeding tool just in case any of these little pieces get stuck. Once it is on our transfer tape, we can place it on our vellum. Alright, so here is our vellum. You could measure this, but as you know, I like to wing it. The nice thing with this too is because it just kind of goes in the middle. If you're not 100% straight, it's okay. I could use my Cricut mat to line things up as well. So I can kind of, I don't know if you can see, but I can see the little lines coming through. So I might use that to help line things up. You can fold it like a taco in half, if that helps. And the same thing, just varnish it onto the vellum. I don't want to fold my vellum because then it'll get creases in it. So that's why I'm doing it this way this time. And you can reuse those transfer tape a couple times, so I usually just put it back on the piece that it was on. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my roses. But that's kind of how it'll look on our candle. So I put all of my vinyl onto my vellum here, and I'm just going to wrap it around my candle nice and tight and get a piece of Scotch tape here in hand. My candle holder here is a little dirty, but it's kind of a permanent wax on it that won't come off. It's actually clean, I just cleaned it. But that's a nice thing with this vellum, it'll cover some of that up. I'm using the table to make it nice and straight. So here is a candle holder, nice frosted look there. Ideally, I would have my vellum overlap just a little bit, but my vellum paper actually was not quite long enough, so it did not. The candle, just be careful with the candle since this is paper, a type of paper. But I think it looks really pretty, and then we even have a little stand here if we wanted. I don't want to tilt my candle too much here. But yes, just be careful because you can slide that off like that. You can also just move it there and replace it with another one. But there is a beautiful candle wrap. Again, you can do the acetate if you want it clear, but I kind of like this vellum versus the clear acetate. That's just me. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I look forward to seeing what yours looks like. Happy crafting, I'll see you next week.